Imagine you are lying in your bed, eyes growing heavy, listening to the soft voice of a storyteller. Tonight, we walk slowly through a single medieval night, from the moment the castle gates close until the first pale light of dawn. The sun is setting over a small medieval town. From a distance, the great stone castle rises above everything else, its towers catching the last streaks of gold in the sky. The walls are thick, weathered by wind and rain, and at the very front stands a heavy wooden gate banded with iron. The day has been busy, the market stalls, carts coming and going, messengers riding in and out. But now, the sky has turned a soft deep blue. The first evening star appears. It is time for the castle to close itself for the night. Down in the gatehouse, 2 guards in padded tunics and chainmail stand ready. Their helmets are off for the moment, resting on a wooden bench nearby. One of them yawns, rubbing his eyes. It has been a long day. A bell rings once across the yard, a low, steady sound that echoes between the stone walls. Up on the wall walk, a gate captain raises his hand and calls down, his voice calm and practiced. "Close the gates." The great wooden doors, each thick as a man's arm is long, begin to move. A pair of draft horses, harnessed to a chain and roller mechanism inside the gatehouse, lean forward. Muscles tighten under their coats as they pull. The chains clink and creak. The doors roll slowly inward on their heavy hinges, only a little at first, then more and more. Outside the walls, the last few townspeople hurry through the narrowing gap, a baker's boy with a basket, a woman carrying a bundle of cloth, and a farmhand bringing in a few late vegetables for the castle kitchens. As the gates swing almost shut, the captain gives a final glance across the road leading away from the town. It is empty now. No riders. No carts. Just the dim path vanishing into the deepening dusk. He nods. With a final groan of wood on stone, the gates close completely. The horses back off their traces. The guards slide a thick iron bar into place behind the doors with a heavy, final thunk. The castle is sealed for the night. Above, the portcullis, a gridded iron gate, is lowered just enough that it could be dropped in a heartbeat if needed. For now, it rests high enough to let air move through the entrance corridor, but low enough to feel safe. Outside, the world falls away into shadow and distance. Inside, life narrows and softens, clustering around the pale glow of torches, hearths, and candles. In the main courtyard, the last tasks of the day are being finished. A groom leads a pair of tired horses toward the stable. Their hooves clop gently on the packed earth. A boy with hair falling in his face hurries along with a bucket, water sloshing quietly inside. The blacksmith, his apron dusty and hands strong, is banking the fire in his forge, pushing coals together with a metal rod so they'll stay warm overnight, but not blaze too high. He leans his tools in their proper places, one by one, a habit formed over many years. From an open kitchen door drifts the comforting smell of stew, onions, barley, and meat, already served to most of the household. Now the kitchen staff move slower, cleaning wooden bowls, scraping bread crumbs from tables, and stacking lids on the great iron pots. A flock of pigeons whirl once over the rooftops, then settle on the highest tower. The sky fades from blue to nearly black. One by one, the torches along the walls are lit, each bright orange flame pushing back the darkness. The noise of the day has faded too. No hammering, no shouting in the yard, no rush of carts. Just quieter sounds, boots on stone, a murmur of voices, the lowing of a cow in a small pen, the soft clatter of dishes from the kitchen. It feels as if the castle is exhaling, letting go of the day. Now, step through the thick wooden door into the great hall. This is the heart of the castle, a long, high room with stone walls and a timbered ceiling. The air smells of wood smoke, beeswax, cooked food, and wool cloaks drying by the fire. The day's main meal has ended. The lord of the castle has withdrawn to a smaller, private chamber with his family. Most of the servants have finished carrying away platters and cups. Simple wooden tables, once crowded with people and food, now stand mostly bare, except for a few stray crumbs and drips of ale. At one end of the hall, a huge fireplace glows with red and orange embers. Thick logs have burned down to a steady, gentler heat. The crackling is quieter now, like someone whispering secrets very softly. A few people still linger in the hall. An older guard sits on a bench near the fire, unlacing his boots and rubbing his tired feet. He listens with half a smile as a young servant girl tells a quiet story to a small group, a tale of a saint who tamed wolves simply by speaking kindly to them. In a shadowed corner, a scribe is rolling up a parchment, careful and slow, tying it with a thin leather thong. His ink has begun to thicken in the cool of evening, so he caps it, wipes his quill, and packs his tools away in a small chest. Candles flicker in iron holders fixed along the walls. Their flames dance whenever a draft slips through the hall, tiny movements of air, almost too soft to feel, but enough to make the light shimmer. Along one side wall, a tapestry hangs, a scene of knights on horseback riding through a forest. By day, it looks bold and clear. At night, by fire and candlelight, the figures seem softer, almost blurred, as if they, too, are becoming sleepy shadows. While some rest, others begin the careful routines of the night. A watchman walks along the inside of the walls, checking each ladder, each stack of arrows, each shield leaned near the parapet. He moves slowly but surely, lantern swinging at his side. He knows this path so well he could follow it in darkness, but still he looks, checking everything by habit. On a higher walkway, a young guard stops to look out through the crenellations, the gaps in the top of the wall. The world beyond the castle is now a dark shape only barely outlined by the faint sky. Far off, a dog barks, muffled by distance. Closer, wind rustles through a patch of trees outside the walls. The guard breathes in cool night air. He can smell damp earth, distant smoke from village hearths, and the faint scent of hay from a nearby barn. Behind him, in the yard, stable hands lay out fresh hay for the horses, who shift softly in their stalls. Leather harness creaks. A horse snorts, then settles, lowering its head. In the kitchens, a fire is coaxed into a smaller, safer bed of coals for the night. Heavy iron pots are pushed to the side. A cook with tired shoulders washes her hands in warm water, then wipes them carefully. She gives last instructions to a younger helper, what must be ready first thing in the morning, which bread dough should be checked, how much porridge to prepare. Then she, too, steps into the cooler hall, her steps slow, her day finally ending. Above the hall, reached by a narrow stone staircase worn smooth in the middle from many feet, lie the sleeping chambers. In one room, the lord and lady of the castle prepare for bed. The bed itself is a large wooden frame, tall enough that a small stool is needed to climb into it. Heavy curtains hang from the bed's canopy and can be drawn to keep out draughts. A servant girl carefully folds a fur-lined cloak and sets it near the foot of the bed, in case the night grows colder. She straightens the linen sheets, plumps the stuffed mattress, and pulls the covers back, ready. On a small table, a candle burns in a simple holder. Its light is gentle, casting a warm circle on the tabletop, illuminating a wooden cup of water and a small carved box. A boy carries in a jug of warm water. The Lord washes his hands and face, letting the warmth ease away the feel of the armor he wore earlier in the day. His shoulders relax. The lady removes her headscarf, her hair falling loose and soft after being bound all day. They speak quietly about the day's matters, the condition of the fields, a visitor expected later in the week, the health of a distant relative. Their words are low and unhurried, their voices fading little by little as tiredness pulls at them. Farther down the corridor, a room holds several children in simple wooden beds or straw pallets on the floor. A nursemaid tucks them in, pulling up wool blankets and smoothing hair away from sleepy faces. One child whispers, "Will the gates stay closed all night?" "Yes," the nurse says softly. The gates are shut, the guards are watching, and the walls are strong. "You are safe here." She hums a simple tune, an old lullaby her own mother sang to her, the melody rising and falling gently. The children's eyes grow heavy. One clutches a small wooden toy horse, the edges worn smooth from much handling. Another curls up, thumb tucked near their lips, breathing slowly. Soon, the nurse's humming fades as well, and the room is filled only with the soft, even breathing of sleeping children. As more candles are blown out, the castle grows darker, but not entirely silent. Listen closely. In the great hall below, a log in the fireplace shifts and collapses inward, sending up a small burst of sparks before settling again. The embers glow like a field of tiny, resting stars. From one corner comes a soft snore as the old guard, allowed to sleep before his early morning watch, drifts deeper into rest on his bench near the fire, wrapped in a thick cloak. From somewhere overhead, the faint scrabble of mice in the rafters. They move quickly, cautious of the castle cat who roams at night. The cat's bell, tied lightly around its neck, gives a tiny chime now and then as it walks its slow patrol along the edge of the hall and through the storerooms. Beyond the walls, an owl hoots once, low and echoing, then again. Its wings whisper through the air as it glides over the castle roofs, searching the fields beyond for movement. In the stables, a horse shifts its weight, hoof scuffing softly in the straw. Another lets out a long, quiet breath, content. These sounds are not sharp or frantic. They are small, normal, part of the living, breathing rhythm of the castle, a place that never completely sleeps, but rests in layers, with some always watching, others slumbering peacefully. Up on the wall, the night watch continues. The watchman moves slowly, taking turns walking and resting. One leans on the battlement, watching the horizon. Another sits on a stool just inside the guard tower, eating a piece of coarse bread and a slice of cheese kept for midnight hunger. They speak quietly when they pass each other, trading a brief word or two. All quiet? All quiet. Their breaths puff faintly in the cooler air as the night deepens. Above them, the sky is wide and clear. Stars hang bright and cold. The moon, thin and pale, drifts behind a thin cloud and then emerges again. The castle beneath them is a shape of shadow and gentle orange glow. The windows that remain lit are few, a chamber where a sick servant is being tended, the small room of the scribe who sometimes works late, and a tiny light near the chapel where a priest murmurs a last prayer before sleep. The guards know their routes. They know each stair, each corner. Their boots make soft sounds on the stone, a familiar pattern. Sometimes they pause, just for a moment, to feel the quiet. From up here, they can see beyond the walls, the tiny cluster of houses in the town, each with its own faint firelight, the dark shapes of fields and hedges, the silvery glimmer of a river in the distance, catching moonlight along its surface. There is comfort in this view. The castle stands strong. The land is peaceful. The night stretches out, calm and undisturbed. As the hours pass, the castle settles more deeply into rest. The embers in the great hall fireplace dim to a soft, reddish glow, still warm but no longer bright. A servant rises once in the night, half asleep, to place a small log on the fire so it doesn't die completely. The log catches slowly, adding just a little more warmth. Then she returns to her narrow bed in a nearby side room. In the storage cellars below, where barrels of ale and sacks of grain are kept, cool stone walls hold the chill of the earth. Here, the air barely moves. It smells of wood, old grain, and damp stone. No one is awake here. Only silence, broken now and then by the faintest drip of water somewhere along the wall. In the chapel, candles have been extinguished, replaced by the soft moonlight coming through a narrow stained glass window. The painted figures in the glass, saints and angels, look down in quiet colors, their faces gentle in the dim light. A wooden cross hangs on the far wall. Beneath it, a small bench where people kneel to pray during the day. Now, it stands empty, waiting for the morning. All through the castle, across many rooms, great and small, rich and humble, people lie under wool blankets and linen sheets, their breathing deep and even. Some dream of harvests and festivals. Some dream of battles long past. Some do not dream at all, simply resting in a deep, dark, quiet stillness. The castle itself seems to be breathing with them, stone and wood and iron all wrapped in the same slow, steady rhythm of the night. At last, after many quiet hours, something in the air begins to change. It is very subtle at first. The darkness outside the narrow windows is not quite as deep. The stars, so bright in the middle of the night, seem to fade just a little. The cold edge of night softens by a degree. On the wall, a guard notices that he can see a bit farther now. The black line of the distant forest becomes a dark grey instead. The sky low in the east is no longer pure black, but touched with the faintest suggestion of blue. He yawns, stretching his arms, and feels that familiar mixture of tiredness and relief. The long night is almost over. Nothing disturbed the peace. No alarm bells. No shouts. Just a quiet, steady watch. In the town beyond the walls, a rooster crows once, then again. Its sound carries faintly up to the castle, a simple signal that the world below is ready to begin stirring. Inside the castle, the very earliest risers begin to wake. In the kitchens, the cook's young helper pushes open the door, rubbing sleep from his eyes, hair messy from his straw pallet. He stirs the banked coals in the hearth, coaxing them into a small flame, then adds kindling. The fire catches, sending a gentle glow into the room, warming the stone around it. He fills a pot with water to begin the morning porridge, the iron handle cool in his hand. The sound of water pouring is soft, steady, like a little stream flowing in the downy silence of dawn. In the stables, a groom arrives with a lantern. The horse's ears prick forward at the sound of the door. He moves down the row, greeting each animal with a quiet pat on the neck, checking that they are sound. He begins to fork fresh hay into the mangers. The horses rustle and chew, the rhythm of their eating peaceful and familiar. In a small chamber, a bell rings once, very gently, the call for early prayers. The priest, who has slept only a few hours, rises, dresses in simple robes, and walks slowly to the chapel. His footsteps echo lightly in the corridor. When he opens the chapel door, the air inside is cool and still. He lights a candle near the altar, its flame bright in the quiet space. As the light outside grows, so does the movement inside. Servants rise from their shared rooms, pulling on tunics and dresses, tying belts, and shrugging into woolen cloaks against the morning chill. Some head straight to the kitchens. Others to the hall, where they will lay out benches and begin to sweep the floors. A few go to fetch water from the well in the courtyard, wooden buckets bumping softly against their legs. The great hall is still dim, but not dark now. Through narrow windows high on the walls, the earliest grey light seeps in. The embers in the fireplace are stirred, and new logs are set upon them. Slowly, the fire grows stronger, flames licking up and casting orange shadows on the stone. In the Lord's chamber, a servant knocks softly on the door, then enters, bringing a small basin of water for washing and a clean cloth. The Lord wakes, stretches, and sits up slowly, blinking at the new day. The lady, too, wakes, brushing hair from her face. They ask, "Was the night quiet?" "Yes, my lord," comes the answer. All was peaceful. The watch gave no alarm. Down the corridor, the children begin to stir as well. The nursemaid opens shutters just a little, letting in pale morning light. One child groans and pulls a blanket over their head. Another sits up, hair wild, asking if it is time to break fast yet. The castle gradually fills with the sounds of morning, footsteps on stairs, low voices, a broom's bristles on stone, the clatter of wooden bowls being set out, the crackle of strengthening fires, the gentle murmur of a prayer spoken on the way to work. Finally, as the sky turns from grey to soft gold near the horizon, the bell in the courtyard rings again, this time for the opening of the gates. In the gatehouse, the same iron bar that slid into place the night before is lifted with effort. The portcullis is raised a little higher, clinking as it moves along its tracks. Chains are checked and secured. The horses are harnessed again to the gate mechanism. At a signal from the captain, they lean forward, hooves steady on the stone. The great wooden doors begin to move, this time outward. Sunlight, pale but growing stronger, pours in through the widening gap. Outside, a few early villagers wait with baskets, wagons, and tools. When the gates are open wide enough, they begin to enter, a man with a cart of firewood, a woman with cloth to sell, a boy running ahead with a message to deliver. The night, with all its quiet and its watchfulness, has ended. The castle has made it safely from sunset to sunrise. Now, the cycle of daily life begins again: work, trade, conversation, noise, and bustle. But the memory of the night remains, the calm, the steady watch, the slow breathing of a community resting behind strong walls. As you lie listening, you can imagine yourself standing at the edge of that courtyard at first light, feeling the cool air on your skin, smelling the faint smoke of morning fires, hearing the gentle murmur of voices starting their day. The castle made it through the night, protected and quiet. The people inside were safe. Nothing troubled their rest. In the same way, you are safe now. The gates are closed in your mind. The guards are on the walls. The fires are low and warm. The halls are dark and peaceful. Everyone has found a place to sleep. You can let your own thoughts slow down, like the fading embers in the great hall. Your worries can be put away, like tools cleaned and hung carefully after a long day. Breathe in and out slowly. Feel the weight of your body sinking into your bed, the way a castle settles deeper into the earth each year, strong and steady. Outside, the world will keep turning, just as it always has. But for now, you are inside the walls. You are wrapped in the quiet of a medieval night, traveling gently from closing the gates to first light. And as the story ends, your eyes can grow heavier and heavier, until, like the castle after a long day, you finally rest.